You are listening to Single Smart Female, Romantic Fairy Godmama Edition. This show is brought to you by Irresistibility, expert help for women with online dating. Are you experiencing inbox crickets or real-life crazies? It's not you, it's your online dating profile. Let us help you do online dating that leads to real-life love and romance. Go to helpmeonlinedate.com and we will send you the first 2 video chapters of our program for free.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's do this.
Ready, okay.
All right, let's do this shit.
Okay.
How to deal with your jealousy. We are doing a topic today.
Yay. Hey, jealousy. It's a good song.
It is. Gosh, what did it came out in the 90s?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me Google it.
And then there's that other song that I really love. It's I'm just so jealous. I don't know why I'm singing because I don't have the best voice either. I'm looking that one up because it's amazing.
Totally digging your voice.
Oh, Nick Jonas. Oh my gosh. Amazing song.
I don't think I've heard that one.
I'll play it for you.
Jen Blossoms wrote this, of
Yes.
course. Or yes.
Yes.
And why can't I find the year? What
year
did
was Hey Jealousy?
Hey Jealousy?
I'm wondering if there's
Come
some
out.
listeners who've never heard that song. I'm guessing yes.
1992.
Woo!
Jen was right. Jen 1. Remember?
Yes.
92. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about how to deal with jealousy. And actually, I'm talking about with your own jealousy. I'm not talking about men's jealousy. We've
Right.
talked about that in other episodes, but I'm specifically talking about your jealousy because, ladies, we all know, doesn't matter how hot you are, how well put together you are, how much great things you've got going on in your life. Every one of you incredible women deal with jealousy issues when it comes to men.
Totally. Had it happen to myself.
Which is, I can't even fathom. Jennifer, you're perfect.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, here's the deal. I think I heard a quote once that said that no matter how amazing, it might have even been Keanu Reeves who said that. You know what I'm talking about? He says, no matter how beautiful, talented something, there'll always be someone who is maybe a little better in
Or
one
that
area.
you think is
Yes,
better.
right.
Okay, so
Yes, that's true. Yeah. And
Okay.
I totally butchered that quote.
you're fired.
Yeah. Can I come back now?
No. Okay, yes. I love you too much. I'd be jealous if you left.
Right.
You go do something amazing without
Yeah,
me and
so-
I'd be so jealous.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's dig deeper into it because jealousy, I had a very huge cathartic healing experience around jealousy. Now, that doesn't mean that I never get jealous because I definitely still get jealous. But there's a marked difference between who I was in my first marriage versus my second marriage. My first marriage, I was extraordinarily jealous with my ex-husband. And not that he didn't do several things that he could have done way better, but I, with my jealousy, made it impossible for him to breathe. I didn't really give him space to do better without having, have to do all of the heavy lifting on everything, which is exhausting for any person. Remember, it's a partnership. It's not one person's job all the time to do all the heavy lifting. So I made it insane. Okay. I was incredibly insecure, and I will admit that we have a lot of puritanical beliefs that feed into this idea of sex and sexuality in the United States, and a lot of insecurity about how women are portrayed, and not in the media, within magazines and all, and just the sex appeal, things like that. Plus, I did not like myself as a woman. I did not find myself sexy, and that really messed with my ability to be an adored woman in my first marriage. I was not an adored woman on any level.
Everything shifts, right? When you start to believe how sexy you are and that you're attractive. I don't care what the heck you look like. When you start to have that energy, everything shifts and people start responding to you differently.
Yes. Yes. So in fact, that's exactly what happened. I've had people tell me, well, Jen, you've always been attractive. That's not how people used to respond to me. In fact, I used to get just the opposite of that. And that was based all purely on how I felt about myself. And I fostered jealousy instead of really owning my own particular brand of beauty. You know, we all have a very particular brand of beauty. I will concede that there are some brands of beauty that are more universal when it comes to people finding attractive. Not going to say that that does not exist, but the whole beholding beauty, that there are tons of men that are going to feel that you are absolutely incredible, especially it's a no-brainer, meaning it's absolutely going to happen when you start to find yourself attractive.
Right.
No matter if you have a father like mine who told me I was very unattractive, or not in those exact words. And then my mom told me, okay, my favorite was, and we've all got our shit, ladies. I'm not asking you to feel bad for me here. We all got to have our shit. And this actually helped me later in life to see this transition. But my mom told me, you know, I asked her, I said, Mom, do you think I'm pretty? At a very crucial age, I think I was 12 or 13. And she's like, you're no beauty queen, but you're okay.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? That was her own stuff coming out right there. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Yeah. All of this shit that we've been told, if it's been from us directly from other people, it's their own filter of fucked upness.
Right. Yeah. And I love that you're sharing that with people, because it's evident that you can overcome that kind of thing and build yourself and know that you are worth it. You're worthy of love, and you do have love.
Yes. So that's one huge piece to it, was who was directly related to how attractive I felt and my ability to sustain a relationship and for somebody to be attracted to me over time. Okay. By the way, that doesn't mean that now I'm just so 100% all the time, always believe. I know I talk a great game here, but yes, I still have my moments of insecurity and doubt, just like every woman does. But what I do differently than a lot of women is I don't stay there. I recognize that it's a moment of doubt, and it doesn't make it true because it's a moment of doubt. Right. The truth is what I choose it to be. It's not what society chooses it to be, which is why you'll meet these women that aren't necessarily considered conventionally attractive, but they have men just all over them, because beauty and attraction is all about perception.
Right.
Very, very important note. Now, there's a second piece to this. It speaks to the jealousy piece, is that I grew around two extremely jealous parents, jealous of each other. And I thought that's what relationships meant. That chaos, that jealousy, that constant fighting,
that's what love looked like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you dig deep into the narrative of love and love stories and things like this, that is, now I had an extreme version at home, okay? Because I mean, it was some fucked up shit going on, but it's the same narrative, even in those stories. That's what we think love is that it has to be two people come together. There's this intense attraction to each other. All of a sudden, there's this intense, something happens in the story of their lives that has to rip them apart. And then they have to find a way over time to climb back to each other. And just leave there's so much collateral damage, but that's the only way to love each other. It has to fucking hurt to be able to love each other.
And you just can't bear to be without them.
Yes. Bullshit.
Right. It's
the biggest piece of bullshit that we are being fed on a constant basis. Makes great for entertainment. It makes a great story for entertainment, but it is the most ineffective, chaotic way to approach love and dating possible. It's not true fucking love. It's a lie. It's a myth. Yeah.
And you know that there's a formula that screenwriters, that book writers all have, that it has to have a moment of tragedy to keep the audience interested, to come back, and then they build it back. And then there's another, it's a turmoil situation. And that is wonderful entertainment, but that is not how you want your heart and your life to be like.
I'm not saying that it's even not, because a lot of women do this. I used to do it. I used to do it all the time. I did it with my ex-husband. And that jealousy part, it feeds into that jealousy part because we think that that's what love is supposed to be. You're supposed to be jealous of each other all the time. And jealousy is nothing but exhaustive insecurity.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. Insecurity.
It's full on your insecurities. And again, I'm not going to tell anybody that you're going to be insecurity free all the time, but that's not the place that you need to roam as an adored woman. It is okay to accept who you are, to even accept some of your insecurities that you're currently working on and challenge those insecurities, but not make them the focus of your life. And then hence you take it out on other people because you're making them responsible for them.
But Jen, what about those situations where you're, say, out with a guy and he kind of eyes another girl? And, like, when is it really him that's the problem versus your own insecurities that's the problem?
Okay, so this was the transition I was talking about between marriage 1 to marriage 2.
Yes.
So marriage 1, I was constantly accusing him, and he did do some questionable things. But I think I actually pushed him there more. Ladies, if you're constantly accusing a guy of cheating on you, of all that kind of stuff,
or even just thinking it to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got to let that shit go. If you're going to live in that place, you are going to definitely draw that shit in. Okay.
Right.
So take some steps back. And I'll tell you exactly how I made that transition in just a minute. So marriage 1, that's all I did. I was constantly accusing him. I was fucking stalker galore inside of a relationship. It was pretty bad. I was always checking on him, checking email, checking phones, records, checking just all kinds of stuff. Well, guess what ended up happening? And everybody's like, oh, that would have happened anyways. No, honestly, this man adored me when he first met. Okay. Mm-hmm. I 100%, and no, it's not all of my responsibility, but I 100% pushed him towards the idea of fulfilling what I thought about him. And by the way, I'm still glad I'm not with. I want to make that clear.
Yeah, right.
no reconciliation here. He was not my guy.
Right.
He was a really great learning experience, but I made it almost impossible for him to want to be faithful to me and to want to be with me, because I made it mean in my head that if he found another girl attractive, that I wasn't good enough.
Right.
That is not what that means. We all find other people attractive. You can lie to yourself all you want, but even you find other people attractive. It doesn't mean that something has to evolve from it. In fact, my husband and I think it's really funny because he gets kind of giddy when he finds women attractive, and he says he's not flirting, but he is. It's not sexual. But even if it was, as long as we have an agreement just not to step over a line of, I guess, physical contact.
Yes.
would be the term. But I now appreciate that about him, whereas with my ex-husband, I took that as a threat.
Right.
And if you can stop taking other people being attractive in this world, because again, remember, attraction is it's all about perception. If you start finding other women really beautiful and you really start and start loving that about them instead of resenting that about them because you're just as beautiful in your own way, game changer. Yes. Fucking game changer.
Right.
The other part of it is the habit part of it. So does that mean all of my insecurities as I went into relationship number 2 that eventually turned into marriage number 2, that all of my insecurities were gone? No. Let me tell you why. When I was preggo, boy, was I preggo. I was out at a casino with my mother, and my husband was at the time working in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico with no woman in sight. All right. Worked with all men. Every hot waitress that came by, all I could think at the time, and this was hormone related, but it's also something that, I'd had in my history, was, oh, he'd like to fuck her. Oh, he would totally do her if he was right. And I was losing it in that moment again after all.
Jen, I've had those thoughts without being pregnant. So I mean, it happened to me.
So there's an extended piece of this. And what I realized during my pregnancy is that jealousy, instead of making it such a bad thing, you're not allowed to take your own jealousy and insecurities out on your partner. You can relay the message. I've had days where I said, today I'm feeling extra sensitive. Can you please make sure you don't look at a girl in any way that could trigger me? Yeah. And my husband's been extraordinarily, and he's been extraordinarily. It doesn't mean I never catch him appreciating a beautiful woman. He's very respectful about it, but I'm okay with that. I'm able to ask him when I'm having a super sensitive moment. I recognize that I still have my moments, and that is okay. Now, they're not as extreme as preggo me and, oh, he would totally fuck her, that bitch.
Right.
kind of thing. But I had to understand that a lot of this jealousy we're manifesting ourselves. It's not necessarily men doing anything. And I want to get to your point of how do we know if men are actually doing something?
And I want to tell a story about that too.
Okay. There is a line. There are a lot of women who are misinterpreting based on our own securities. And I know, as having been a card carrying jealous woman. Remember though, I also recognized in that moment that jealousy could teach me something about something that I wanted to feel myself. And in that moment, I didn't feel what these women represented to me is I didn't feel very sexy in my pregnancy. So what I did was I started doing things to make myself feel sexy during pregnancy. And then when I have that kind of jealousy come up again, I use the jealousy as an indicator to tell me something that I'm not feeling for myself.
Right.
Not about what's going on with him. Now, you have a story.
I do.
Go.
So I'd love to share. So I'm a dancer and I do partner dancing. So I Latin dancing and I meet a lot of men that way. And there was a man who was showing interest in me and we hadn't gone on a date or anything, but he had invited me to go on a trip, just, a couple hours away from where we live and go to a club with a group of people that we all dance with. So he's kind of behaving in a way like he had invited me and I was his guest, but it wasn't really a date exactly. So after we all danced, we went across the street to a little food truck and him and I were talking. And as we spoke, a girl walked by, very attractive in very tight short skirt dress outfit, very beautiful woman. And he 100% Googled her with like oogly eyes or whatever you call it, looked at her up and down and stared as she walked. As he is having a conversation with me, he stopped having a conversation with me and completely looked at her like that.
Okay.
So I thought to myself, that's not the kind of thing I want to be involved in, So fast forward a couple weeks later, he asked me on a date. And I said to him, I'm going to be honest with you. That day that we were talking on that, you were looking at that woman in such a way, and I'm not a fan of that. I said, was that me misinterpreting what you were doing, or did you actually look at her in the way that I interpreted? And he said, yes, I did. When I'm on a date with someone, I do not believe in doing that. And at first I thought, I don't know about this character, but I'm just going to go out on a date with him and just see his behavior. On our date, he was a completely different person, very respectful, did not do anything like that. I don't know if that was the right thing to do or not, Jen, but I feel like that was him being ridiculous and not me having jealousy issues.
Okay.
What do you think?
No, you weren't having jealousy issues. And some women actually like it. They get turned on by watching men watch women because there's all kinds of different turn-ons in this world. That would not turn me on if my husband did that or the guy I was dating. It would not turn me on at all. I want to commend you on something, and I'm not recommending this for everybody, but I want to commend you on something because you are an advanced mantourage dater. You're not a novice. I want to commend you on asking him and getting clarification. I actually commend him for being honest about it.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it, and ladies, rewind and listen to how Jen actually said it because that was beautifully done. You did it in a way that wasn't punishing to him.
Right.
Or you weren't accusing him of something, of this horrible, horrible crime.
Right. And telling him how horrible of a person he is.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely listen to Jen and how she addressed something like that. Now, I am actually cool that you went out on a proper date with him. Why? Because as an adored woman, you get to do all kinds of romantic research. And that was just romantic research. Dates aren't, end all be all of, oh my God, if I go out on a date with him, that means I want to marry him. No, you're exploring things. I hope you had a great time. It may not have been a good fit.
did.
So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really proud of you. Yes. And this is where, ladies, you guys get to decide. For those of you ladies that used to be like me, where you made everything something that he was doing wrong, and you were constantly excessively jealous, you need to take a step back from that. You need to walk in our space of being an adored woman and understanding just because if a man looks at another woman, I'm not talking about ogling women whatsoever, but if a man appreciates another woman's beauty, that I said booty, I meant beauty. Both. Both.
That's okay. I called it Googling. He was Googling her.
I actually thought for a second he pulled out his phone.
I'm going to Google this chick, take her picture.
Did you know now there's an app where you can take a picture of somebody and it gives you their details? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, scary.
I don't think it exists.
Okay, I'm afraid.
It's really frightening. But it's okay for men to appreciate other types of beauty. Men can be very, very loyal, especially when you're not chokeholding him to be loyal.
Right.
My husband is a great example of that. There are lots of men that are great examples of that. So you have to, if you were excessive like I was and always punishing and going, your jealousy is based on your own insecurities, then I do encourage you to take some steps back and work on the habit of knowing that you're incredible the way you are and that you're very attractive the way that you are. So it is natural for men to want to be with you and be loyal to you. Now, let's talk about over the line behavior. This is more subjective, and I think the way you handled that situation, although I do find it a little disrespectful, I don't find it horrible what he did, but you guys weren't actually on a date at the time.
No, we were not on a date.
Okay.
No. But I do want to just kind of fill you in. This person is still in my entourage right now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And he actually is on a regular basis pursuing me. Mm-hmm. And now when we're together and dancing, I have never seen him look at any woman like that ever again.
Look at
he recently just bought us tickets to go to a concert. And yeah, so he's stepping up and tells me that he wakes up thinking about me. And yeah.
You know why? Because you handled that with such beauty and confidence.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're really hard to resist. So, okay. Now, how do you know when you actually should step away? One of the telltale signs, and I've heard of women doing this a lot, and this really makes me sad. So ladies, please stop this. I'm going to be kind of harsh on you and just tell you to stop this. If a guy is comparing you to other women,
ooh,
stop that shit.
Ooh.
That's over the line. Way the fuck over the line.
Yep.
There's no backing out. You step away from that right away. That's just gross.
It is gross.
It's really gross.
Ugh.
Then I think I heard a story one time. The guy told his girlfriend, you should color your hair this color like this woman that was standing, and then you would look blah, blah, blah. And I was like, are you kidding me? Gross.
Yeah,
Ugh.
super gross. And then our job as adored women is to teach men how to treat us and how we want to be treated. But what do you think, Jen, about that? Like, is that something that you should even want to invest in, guiding them to not be like that? Or should you just toss that one to the side?
I would toss to the side personally.
See ya. Take care, comb your hair.
I don't invest time in that. As adored women, our time is precious. So, I want you to give different men a chance, but no, I'm sorry. I don't have time for that shit. If a guy talks about another woman's body and you can warn him and say, look, I can appreciate that we definitely are going to find other people attractive, but I'm not comfortable talking about that with you.
Like a man, if he were to be like, oh, wow, look at her breasts. I'm not she's got hot boobs or a nice ass or whatever.
And then if he keeps doing it. So for instance, let's say the gentleman in your entourage right now, what are we calling him?
Latin dancer.
Oh, come on.
Actually, okay, I called him Private Dancer. That's actually my name for him, Private Dancer. I just forgot real quick.
Okay, so Mr. Private Dancer, had he continued to do that, then you should have stepped away from him, of course.
If he does it ever again, goodbye. You know what I mean? Let's say that I marry this man and spend my life with him. If he were to do that one more time, I don't know if I would be like, goodbye. But at this moment, when I just set up my boundaries on that, you know, if we went on a date and he did it again, I would not go out with him again.
And that's my point. After you've had a very civil, not excessively heated conversation about this, just, stood in who you are as an adored woman, and then he continues to do it or does it another time, then yes, go ahead and step away and say, you know what? It's just not for me. I wish you the best on your dating journey, but no, it's not something. And it's okay to admit that, as I'm encouraging ladies to not be jealous, especially of other women, it's okay to admit when something is too much for you. So say, for instance, somebody in your entourage ends up in, I was going to say polygamous, but that's not the word. He's in polyamorous. Mm-hmm. And which means he's in multiple relationships, but you're not comfortable dating somebody who is in multiple relationships.
Multiple committed relationships.
Yeah, committed relationships. It's okay that you're not okay and you're not there yet. It's okay to baby step your way into this, but I am going to keep pushing you ladies to the point that you don't take all other women as a threat, because if you do, you're not giving him space to adore you the way you should. Okay, Lover Girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show.
Jealousy does not have to plague your dating and love life when you start to understand what a catch you really are.
Thank you, Lover Girl, for joining us on this Romantic Fairy Godmama edition of Single Smart Female. Don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, as well as visit us at singlesmartfemale.com.
We'll talk to you next time.
And here's to you having everything you want in life and love.
This show is brought to you by Irresistibility, expert help for women with online dating. Are you experiencing inbox crickets or real-life crazies? It's not you. It's your online dating profile. Let us help you do online dating that leads to real-life love and romance. Go to helpmeonlinedate.com and we will send you the first 2 video chapters of our program for free.